So most investors right now are panicking and freaking out and seeing the volatility in the stock market right now and wondering, do I buy? Do I sell? Do I head for the hills? Do I hedge my portfolio? Are we going to World War III? That's what we're going to talk about right now, of how to be a logical investor that uses your brain and understands when do we buy the dip, when do we not buy the dip, and how to allocate your portfolio in a way that's going to beat the market in the long term and capitalize on this volatility because the next couple months could make millionaires. I'm not even playing with you right now. Let's dive in. First thing that I want to do, I want to be fully transparent with you guys and show you my account when we are in these volatile times in the stock market. $1.2 million account, currently down 1.34%, basically on par down here with what the NASDAQ is down today. So, how I'm allocated right now in my portfolio, irrelevant of all of this volatility, is similar to the NASDAQ on the downside. But if we get upside in the market, I'm going to do much better than what the NASDAQ is doing on the upside. And it makes sense to allocate like that right now. Because if we go back to the charts right here and we really understand where the stock market is actually at and where we expect it to go in the future, it shouldn't shock you that we're seeing a little bit of a dip right now, a little bit of volatility. Because, guys, it doesn't matter the catalyst. It doesn't matter if we have a COVID 2026, an Iran, a World War III, and inflation getting out of control. You always got to be prepared for times like this because they're going to come, especially with the problems that we have in our economy, in our stock market, and in our labor market right now. So let's talk about it. So we're going to break all this down from my free newsletter that I send out every single week that you could subscribe to below if you want to get it. And we're going to start out on the fear greed index for this market because we all know there's so many investors that are freaking out, so many investors that are nervous, and it is pushing us into the fear, if not extreme fear category right now. So is this justified? Is it making sense that the market is this fearful right now? In my opinion, no. Because if we take a look at the NASDAQ and you see that from peak to trough, we are only down 5.5%, does it really justify being in a fear, if not extreme fear category right now? Probably not. So what's happening right now is market sentiment is bad. Investors are nervous. They are so used to seeing the stock market in the last couple of years literally going straight up and to the right. And now that we're getting this little bit of volatility right now, it's like, oh my God, what is happening? Why am I not mooning my portfolio? So investors are nervous and they're freaking out. The Iran situation, the oil prices going up. Oh my God, what is inflation going to do? Is it going to come back? Is this going to cause, stagflation fears, all this crazy stuff at a time the labor market's weakening, AI is causing problems? There's just a lot of stuff on investors' minds right now. So we're going to simplify all this and bring it all together in a way that makes sense. The fear grid index is abnormally fearful right now when I feel like it's not justified. That's basically what I said right here. I put this closer to 50. The market is just barely off of all-time highs, so I feel like we're a little bit neutral in the market right now. You can see this on a historical fear greed index going back to Liberation Day tariffs right here. This truly was an extremely fearful time. I believe the fear greed index got to a level, you can see right here, it's like 2. It got really, really low because the market was essentially in free fall. Right now, the market's just doing a healthy consolidation, in my opinion, but there are various things that we could capitalize on, buying stocks and doing options, which we'll talk about in a second, to capitalize on this dip and not let this dip and volatility go wasted. Because if we just think about what I was doing back here in 2022 or even during the Liberation Day tariff stuff, many investors were freaking out. Many investors were panicking. They were freaking out down here. They were freaking out down here, capitulating, wanting to buy put options and not buy call options, but you're doing things at the exact opposite time. You want to sell puts down here and you want to buy calls down here because you could sell puts for top dollar because everybody wants to go buy puts, and you could buy calls for bottom dollar because nobody wants to buy calls when the market's going down. So, the emotional aspect of investing was what really crushes most investors. And when you see the volatility right now, all the negative news headlines, that should start to get you excited. That should make you want to allocate. Because if you have your ratios in check, if you have dry powder on the sidelines, whether it's cash or bonds or margin buying power to go sell more puts, whatever you are doing to have your capital on the sidelines, now is a decent time to start allocating that stuff. And I am allocating that stuff right now too. So when you see that there's fear in the market, usually when there's the most fear in the market, that is close to the market bottom. I'm not saying right now is the perfect market bottom, but what I am saying is that the more fearful the market gets, the more that it falls, the more opportunities that pop up, and the better the future expected returns for the market look. You want to buy low and sell high. You don't want to be allocating very bullishly up here. You want to be allocating very bullishly down here and starting to allocate bullishly down here. That is the name of the game, guys. And if we take a look at this market momentum chart right here, you can see the orange line is going to be the 125-day moving average line. This line, historically, if you just buy when stocks are below the 125-day moving average, this is for the S&P, by the way, if you just buy when it's below it, which it is below it right now, your future expected returns usually look great. What does this mean? You're buying at a discount. You're buying when things are on sale. Imagine if you would have bought the S&P when it's very disconnected from the 125-day moving average right here. Your future expected returns don't look too good, right? The market went down. But when you allocate right here, when the market did nothing for almost 5 months, and the profits continue to grow and go up and to the right, you now have a very stronger foundation right here to allocate. So by looking at this is saying extreme fear in the market. What I'm saying is, good, I want to see the extreme fear. I want to allocate when people are fearful. Like, look at the distance below, you're below the 125-day moving average right here. How are the future returns in the market from that point? Dude, if you ask me, they were great. So we're getting volatility with Iran, and every single time when we get this volatility, guys, Liberation Day tariffs, COVID, 1929, 2008, 2000, whatever catalyst there was when the market went down a lot, it always feels like the end of the world when you're in that event at that given time. Emotions are flaring, tensions are flaring, people are freaking out. What if this happens? What if that happens? You read an article online, you watch a YouTube video of someone trying to fearmonger you. It's like you believe your bearish thesis. And humans, the sense of the feeling of losing money is much stronger than the sense of the feeling of making money. So you're more fearful to lose money than you are more FOMO-y to not make money, if that makes sense. So humans usually always freak out on the downside and panic and oversell things. And then, yes, they blow things out of proportion on the upside too. But the negative feeling of losing money is a very strong feeling, and it makes investors very, very nervous. So by looking at these couple charts that we have here so far, this makes me bullish. This makes me want to allocate in a bullish way, and we'll talk about what I'm going to be buying here in just a second. Now, if we take a look at the put-call ratio, you might think that this is minutia and doesn't really make sense, but this is actually very, very important to understand. Think about this with me really quick. If we look at April of last year, we all know that the tariff thing happened, the market went down quite a bit, very sharp drop. Look at the put-call ratio. 1.0. This basically means that there was a lot of put buying versus call buying. They're basically 1-to-1. One person's buying a put, one person's buying a call. In a normal, healthy market, it's usually much, much lower than that. But when tensions are flaring and the market is falling, the put-call ratio is at an all-time high and investors are completely freaking out. So all these people that were buying put options right here to hedge the downside in their portfolio, look at this is literally just after April started. So like April 15th, we'll just say. If we go look at this on a chart, look at April 15th on this chart right here. Somewhere around right here is where most people were buying put options, meaning they're hedging their downside in the market. But what did the market do from April 15th to right now? It's up 30%. So all those people that were buying puts, freaking out, paying top dollar for them, they got smoked. All those puts expired worthless. So when I tell you guys that I like to sell puts when the market's falling, when people are freaking out, and when sentiment's bad, I mean it. And if we plot that earnings per share growth line that we talk about so much on this channel, market's within striking distance of intrinsic value right now. But when you allocate, when you're below the earnings per share growth line, which does honestly correlate to where the 125-day moving average is, and when you do this when a put call ratio is high, your future expected returns in a market are probably going to be pretty good if you ask me. Now, if we look at market volatility, again, volatility is shooting up. You shouldn't be surprised by this, right? Volatility is going up. Volatility was high right here. People are nervous. People are panicking. People are freaking out. Guess what happens to option premiums, specifically put option premiums, when market volatility is high? They go up. So you're selling puts for top dollar when everybody wants them. So you're selling someone a put. They want downside protection. You're going to give them that downside protection. You're doing it at a time that the market is now cheaper. Market's cheaper up here too. And you're doing it on a 1, if not 2-year time horizon. It's like your chance of making money on that sold put, guys, it's very, very high. Then you take the cash flow, buy calls, buy shares, you get it. And the funny thing about YouTube is I realize I don't go viral. I don't get a lot of views. And the reason for that is because my videos are maybe boring. My videos are maybe like, oh my God, I want the next hot stock pick. I want to buy in and make a bunch of money overnight. That's what most retail investors want to do. But guess what? I am not like most retail investors. I'm here to make money in the stock market. I don't care if these videos blow up and get views. I want to help the few people that actually watch these videos till the end, give them value, and show them how I actually beat the market in the long term, which is what 95% of people that you see online do not do. If you're not even beating the market in the long term, you're wasting your time. So here's what I would say to do right now in your portfolio. Number one, valuations matter. I've been saying on this YouTube channel for 2 years now that valuations matter. Nobody seems to believe me until they see Palantir stock go down 26%, SoFi stock fall 45%, Iron stock fall 47%, Oracle stock go down a lot, ServiceNow stock go down a lot, Robinhood stock going down over 50%. Nobody believes me that valuations matter until you feel the pain of that in your portfolio. Take a look at my account right here. My account is basically at all-time highs, and I actually do net withdrawals from this account on a monthly basis. The all-time high I believe was like 1.3 million. I am basically at that all-time high and I withdraw like $15,000 per month sometimes. So I am very bullishly allocated, but I have my downside covered at the same time too. I have a little bit of exposure to bonds right now. Why do I have bond exposure? Because I know that looking at any metric for the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq for the valuation, it's a little bit hot right now. And when valuations are high, the future expected growth is not going to be as good. And when you get a negative catalyst, like the Iran thing, or the labor market, or AI taking jobs, or whatever negative catalyst you want to look at today, or inflation or stagflation, whatever, it's no surprise that the market's going down. So when I started to allocate to bonds somewhere around like here, we'll just say, honestly, I'm not saying I did it perfectly, and maybe I got a little bit lucky, but I did start to allocate to bonds up here. The stock market went down roughly 5%. My bonds threw off a couple percent dividend yield, and they actually went up a little bit in share price on balance too. So that is a net positive to my account, while this stuff went net negative. So that's helping my downside in the market actually be less. And I have bullishly allocated options too, so that's higher volatility than the market, but the bonds are less volatility than the market. So that is why my portfolio on a day-to-day basis is very similar on the downside to what the actual NASDAQ does. But on the upside, I get a little bit more money out of it. So what am I allocating to right now? Well, number one, I'm starting to allocate to the NASDAQ. I started to sell a couple 2-year put options on the NASDAQ going 2 years out. I think it makes a lot of sense to do it right now. My ratios are well within check. I just dabbled in it. But if the market continues to fall, I will continue to sell more puts. As for SOX, SOX is a semiconductor index. I am getting excited to allocate to that too. Sorry I'm in a way, guys. I'm always in a way wherever I'm at. SOX I'm going to start to allocate to. NVIDIA I'm already allocated to, and it's been really doing nothing. Meanwhile, earnings per share is growing very rapidly, and I feel like NVIDIA stock is relatively undervalued right now. So when the sentiment flips and the market flips, I do expect a good amount of upside in NVIDIA. So maybe I'll allocate a little bit more depending how low it goes. Metastock, I am allocated right now. I don't really want to have too much more allocation, but I am very bullish on Meta. I feel like fundamentally the stock is very cheap. I do have a little bit of exposure on Tesla, but Tesla is one of those stocks where looking backwards, it's a bubble. Looking forward, it could be very cheap if they actually scale Optimus and Robotaxi. So Tesla is kind of like my gambling play, we'll just say. Microsoft, I am allocated to Microsoft in a very small way. I actually allocated somewhere around right here. I mean, all these stocks, guys. I'm not saying I'm a genius and could time the bottom of the market perfectly. I cannot. I will never claim I can. But I was not allocating to Microsoft up here. I've been allocating to Microsoft down here in this time frame because valuations matter. Valuations matter, guys. Like, really quick example right here, and I'll kind of wrap this video up. I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but it's all good. 5-year chart right here, the NASDAQ. My account value down here for Charles Schwab, it was roughly $300,000. $300,000 just a couple years ago. My account right now, it's like 1.2 million, even after the volatility that is happening right now. So when you get opportunities like this, you capitalize, and you capitalize heavily, and that's how you make a lot of money on a next leg higher. So what's happening in the market right now? We're getting volatility, and maybe it keeps going down, but I'm going to be allocating in this time right here for when the next leg comes and the market goes down and then up and rebounds very sharply. That is where the big money is made. Meanwhile, most retail investors, they're allocating very bullishly up here. Market goes down, they get smoked, they sell, and then the market goes up, and they're not participating in that upside rebound. So you have to be very careful with that stuff and not just, blend in with the herd. Micron stock, I'm bullish on Micron stock. Valuation is a little bit high, so I'm not allocating right now. Marvell, I'm bullish on it, but I'm not allocated yet because the valuation is not there yet. TSM I like. Adobe, it's, the moat's a concern for me. Palantir valuation's high, SoFi valuation's high. Iron, Oracle's okay, ServiceNow valuation's decent. Moat's going to be the concern, but I think it's overall okay. Robinhood, I'm bullish on, I'm allocating to right now too. So it's kind of like a little power hour right there of throwing things at you. But overall, guys, this volatility is normal. Valuations are a little bit high. They're now close to reasonable levels. It's bringing all the high beta, high valuation companies down with it. You shouldn't be shocked. A good company does not mean it's a good investment. You need to get a good company at a good price. You're seeing that right now. Maybe you haven't believed me the last 2 years on this channel, but hey, maybe you do now. So if you get value from this, drop a like, drop subscribe. There's a new hype feature you could do too if you want to help out these videos to get pushed. I know this video is not going to get a lot of views because I kind of went on a tangent and just talked about off the cuff stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of value in this because people need to just keep their emotions in check and not stress about this day-to-day volatility, because most YouTubers on there, and I'm not even a YouTuber, I'm an investor and I just talk about what I do and show how I make money and beat the market like almost nobody else does. Um, that's what I do. I show you guys what actually goes on in the stock market, and we break it down in a very simple way of how to make money. So that being said, you want to learn more about my option system, I'll see you guys right here. See you in the next video.